Pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the men's lacrosse program here at Binghamton University, Kevin McKeown, and reigning America East Defensive Player of the Year, Teddy Dolan. Thanks so much to you both for the time. Teddy, the bar's set high for you. Obviously, you're both goalies, very decorated goalies. Coach, tell me how the relationship with you and Teddy started.
Yeah, I mean, I think it started really well. I think, from when Teddy got here as a freshman, he was very eager to be coached. He was hardworking and he was a, fundamentally sound goalie. So, we knew he was going to be good and we just didn't know exactly when it was quite going to happen. He's been a pleasure to coach and work with.
What are the conversations like between the two of you off the field as you discuss the position?
It's kind of just like a normal conversation. We don't really overcomplicate things. He sends me clips of practice and like what I can do better here, what I can work on, or if it was a really good play and I should keep doing it. So it's kind of just like a back and forth, like kind of nitpick kind of thing. So like I try to go over into him during practice and like ask him if he watched that play I was just in, and he gives me his feedback, and then I kind of just think about it for a sec, and then when I go back in there, I kind of just toss it away and kind of just get better from there.
Yeah, quite frankly, I wish he wouldn't even ask me on the field because I don't even want, because I worry that he's overthinking things. Again, my philosophy is really to try to have guys be comfortable out there. I think a lot of times if goalies are thinking, too much in the goal, their bodies aren't going to be working in the manner that they need to. So, I like to try to, make some coaching points, whether it's after practice or, via film or in the office, whatever it might be, keeping things simple, especially as we get to this time of year, when we're competing.
Playing off of that, talk about the mental aspects of the game, starting with you, Coach, which are just as important as the physical ones.
Yeah, mental aspect is huge. I'd say probably even more so than the physical. I think the mental kind of, if you're comfortable mentally, it'll lead to you being comfortable physically. So, it's definitely something that's very, very important at the position.
I would agree with that. I think if you are too in your own head in the net, you kind of focus on that more than what this like the shot or like the player's stick. So I think if you have a clear mind, if you have a way to just kind of decompress, if you have for me, for example, I like to take deep breaths throughout the game. If it's getting a little hectic, that kind of just calms me down, kind of resets my mind a little bit. So if I have a good mental mindset, I feel like I play way better than if I don't.
And you use an app, you said?
Yes, yeah. So Tom Brady has this app, and then my brother recommended it to me because he was also a goalie. And he also recommends me a couple books. So I've been reading a couple books, kind of just how to kind of do that like reset button kind of thing. So I kind of read a lot. I kind of do this app before as a pregame type thing just to clear my mind, and then that helps me get ready for the game.
Coach, were you also a guy that was locked in? I know there weren't apps around, but were you locked in leading up to a game?
Yeah, as much as I try to be. I think I like to try to stay occupied, whether it was hitting the wall or even reading a book or listening to music, just almost kind of deflecting from, thinking about what's going to happen, during the game. And, I think every goalie and player really just kind of probably likes to do, prepare in their own way.
Let's talk leadership. 40 guys on the team. Both of you are leaders, obviously, as a head coach and as a goalie and a captain. Teddy, what do you see, or how do you see your role as a leader?
Kind of what I like to do is I kind of just like to be the energy guy. So if I come out to practice and I see the group like not really being like engaged or like do what we have to do, I kind of get on everyone a little bit. I kind of just try to get the juice flowing because I feel like if I get the juice flowing, it's going to carry on to someone else, and then from there just kind of starts a snowball effect. So if I can get someone juiced up and they can get the energy going, I feel like that really sets us down a good path for practice and in future games.
How about for you as a coach?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing for me is to try to, get our assistant coaches and then our seniors and our team leaders to try to, we want everybody to be leaders out there. If it's one guy, me, trying to, lead the whole group, it's not going to be as effective as if, we're able to train 10, 11 seniors, right, to go out there and be the leaders, whether it's offensively, defensively, at the face-off position, whatever because we do have a lot of specialized groups, right, that we break down to when we're in practice situations. So, I think just letting the guys know like what our expectations are and what we want of them as leaders, and having them be able to go out and execute it, because quite frankly they can be more influential on their teammates than any of the coaches can do.
And Teddy, it's a lot of compartmentalizing, right? Once you get on the field, you have to put whatever else is going on in your day behind you, because there's no margin for error in your position.
No, so that's kind of goes back to the whole mental side of the game. So whether it's like a test you just had or like a bad day with someone, you kind of have to let that all go when you're on the field, because you have a bunch of guys like holding you accountable, like looking up to you, like, all right, he's gonna do his job, like I gotta do mine. And that's a big thing we say here is like, do your job. So if I let my own like problems or whatever like affect my ability, it hurts everyone else. So I like to just let loose on the field, clear my mind, and just focus on what I have to focus on for the hour I'm out there, or 2 hours, whatever it is. So goalie is a big mental part of the game. Yep.
What made both of you want to take the plunge into being goalies?
So when I was probably like third grade or something, we were in an indoor league and our goalie didn't show up. And so my coach like looked at the group and like, anybody want to volunteer to play goalie? And one of my friends said yes, so he played the first half, and I was still at attack at the time. So I was like, all right, he's gonna play goalie, I was gonna play attack. And then he came out at halftime, I was like, I don't like this. And so the coach was like, all right, we need a new goalie. And my brother Danny was a goalie, so I had kind of experience with it, or like kind of like a general sense of what the position was. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll play. And I don't remember exactly how that went, but I know I kind of liked it because I stuck with it for up until now. So that's kind of how I got started in the position.
So if we need a lefty attack, man,
Yeah,
who
call
to
me.
go to.
Call me.
Quite versatile.
Yeah.
Put me on the crease. Put me on the crease.
Goal scorer. For me, it was, I was in summer camp. I had probably already been playing the sport, here and there, camps, clinics, for a year or two. And, I think I was in 5th or 6th grade. And it was a really hot week of summer lacrosse camp. So I had heard that if you were trying out goalie, you didn't have to wear as much equipment. You could take your arm pads off. So I decided to go ahead and do that. And it was a position that came pretty naturally to me. I just had to be good at catching the ball, really, and I felt like it was something that I worked on a lot in a lot of other sports growing up, whether it be football or playing baseball. So it was something that I had some success with early, and just decided to stick with it when some coaches really encouraged me to do so.
Teddy, we were talking off air. How much of playing the position is reaction, instinct, and how much of it is technique?
I think obviously a little bit of each. Depending on the shot, I think inside I kind of rely on my instinct a little more, kind of my quick hands. I kind of just try to see the ball and react to it as best as I can, especially in tight. I know it's hard. And then outside shots, I think it's more technique. You have to step to the ball, you have to drive your hands, you have to get around the ball to make sure you don't have a rebound. So I think there's a little bit of each, but overall, I would say I rely a little bit more on technique just because of the practice that I've done over the years and like all the reps I've done. So I think it's kind of just like second nature at this point, kind of muscle memory.
Do you ever get used to balls zinging in that way? How many miles per hour?
I don't think you ever really do. I think you kind of just learn to just accept it at this point because I'm already in too deep. So like, might as well just eat it. I'll get a bruise for 20 minutes and then I'll be fine. So
if you continue to get better at catching them, they hit your body less. So
Right. That's
and I think that's I think back to my freshman year. I got hit a ton. My first year of college lacrosse, and then I got just a little more comfortable, a little better at catching the ball, and the bruises they didn't all go away, but I probably had less of them.
Sure.
It's not for the faint of heart. But you've got guys juggling now, Coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the technology and the techniques are always evolving.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's interesting now as a coach, especially in the last 5-6 years, just using social media and the internet to just figure out ideas. You see what other people are doing, and those ideas are just out there and more readily available. So we brought some different hand-eye stuff in, and doing some different things, and anything we can do to maybe do something a little bit different to help our guys have success in the field.
You're a star juggler too.
Yeah, so freshman year, I came in not knowing how to juggle, and Coach McKeown had us juggle for a segment, and I didn't know how to do it, so he's like, all right, you can just do foot drills, like jumping over your stick, and I was exhausted afterwards. I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. So I made it a mission of mine, like after practice, I would juggle for like about 10, 15 minutes, and it took me about 6 days to finally learn how to juggle, but ever since then, I've been practicing on it. I juggled yesterday, actually. So it's kind of just a skill that I like to do, kind of clears my head, kind of makes me focus on a ball, so, which I should be doing in the game, and it kind of just hones in my hand-eye coordination. But also social media aspect, like over the summers, Coach McKeown sends me various goalie drills like over Instagram that I can like work on my own, so that's been really helpful too.
I see some alternative entertainment options here. Maybe so you can do on the side some juggling, juggling nights at the
Get you up to
at the
center
complex.
campus.
Yeah, right?
Lastly, what's the biggest thing for both of you that you've learned from each other?
Kind of just how to approach the game, kind of approach life. You gotta have a little like leniency on yourself. It can't be too hard. I know for lacrosse aspect, if I let in a couple goals, it's kind of easy to let that go down on yourself and kind of clutter your mind. But Coach McKeown always there to like give me the reset button almost. So I think his just attitude and his approach has been really helpful in developing me as a player.
How about for you, Coach?
Yeah, I think especially thinking about Teddy this year, like his consistency's been awesome just in his approach every day, right? We talk a lot about with the team. You talk about the Tom Brady's and the Kobe Bryants, and you talk about how those guys prepare, and you hear stories about how those guys have prepared as athletes, and I think Teddy is really kind of fallen into that type of approach to his everyday practice and commitment to his craft. So I think seeing that makes me really want to make sure I'm doing the same thing myself.
Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, pretty high praise. Don't let it get
Can't
to your head.
complain. Can't complain.
Thanks for the time, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob.